All right, fellow hunters, time for the final episode of Read the Day, which also happens to be my favorite episode from Season 2, Tall Tales. All right. So, beginning in a college campus outside Crawford Hall, a professor who looks in his 40s was walking toward the college late at night. He noticed a young woman standing outside if she's lost. And asks if she's lost. No, she replies, I've been waiting for you, Professor. Oh, are you in one of my classes? Yes. Don't you recognize me? She says. They're big classes, he says. Anyway, my office hours are Tuesday and Thursday mornings. Really? I was hoping I could see you now, she says hopefully. Thinks about it for a second, then says, well, since you asked so nicely, come on in. She smiles and follows him. In his office, she's looking at a book with his picture on the back. Such a handsome photo, she says, struggling with her fingers. He laughs. That old thing. So what can I do for you? He asks her how paper is coming, but she shakes her head. Professor, I have a confession to make. She turns from opening the window to look at her. What's that? I'm not really one of your students, she confesses, smiling. Really, he says, smiling himself. Then why are you here? She continues to smile at him. After a long silence, she says, maybe I should just go. Wait, he says, and she turns back. I get it, he says, walking over to her. I understand how you're feeling, and it's only natural. You're young and wide-eyed, and I'm somewhat of a celebrity around here. He starts to pull her over toward him. Don't get me wrong. You are a very beautiful girl, but it would be wrong of me to take advantage of you. Nevertheless, he touches her hair. I just respect you too much. Then he begins to kiss her. So her face begins to look broadened. Oh my God, he says, seeing her. What? She asks. Don't you like me anymore? Don't you want me? He backs up away from her. She comes forward. Outside, one of the staff is locking up the doors. He hears a thump behind him and he turns to see the professor lying dead on the steps. Ugh. Sam is sitting in a motel room looking at some books. Dean's making happy girls next to him as he's eating fries and gravy sitting on a bed, also reading and listening to music. Dude, you mind not eating those on my bed? Sam says. No, I don't mind, Dean says, not moving. How's the research going? He asks. You know how it's going, Sam says, closing the book and turning to glare at Dean. Slow, you know how it would go a heck of a lot faster if I had my computer. Dean smiles and nods at him. Could you go down, please? Sam finally says angrily. Yeah, absolutely, replies Dean. Reach over and turn the radio up instead. You know what? Sam says. Maybe you should just go somewhere for a while. Yeah, that's a great idea, Dean says. I'd love to. Unfortunately, my car was so screwed as hell. Dean, I told you I had nothing to do with... Sam begins, but he's interrupted by knocking at the door. They exchange looks, and then Sam goes to the door and opens it. Bobby's sitting outside. He comes in, the boys greet him. It's good to see you again so soon, he says. Yeah, thanks for coming, says Sam. So, what did you want to talk to me about? Talk to me on the phone about? Bobby asked them. It's a job we're doing, begins Sam. We weren't sure you believe us. I can believe a lot, says Bobby. Yeah, I know. I just never seen anything like it. Not even close, Dean adds. I thought you could some fresh eyes. Sam finishes. Why don't you begin at the beginning? Bobby suggests. Alright, so it started with how would have been obit. Sam begins. So Professor took a notice that from a fourth-story window. On this campus legend that the building is haunted. So we pretexted these reporters from local paper. Sam is sitting at a table with a girl and a guy. He's asking them why they think the professor did it. The girl tells them he had a wife and kids, and his book was a very big deal. Then again, she says, who's to say it was suicide? The guy starts to argue, but Sam says, what else could it be? He starts to say something, but the guy interrupts, saying, it's a bunch of crap. It's a total urban legend. Yeah, Heather's mom went to school here and she knew the girl. The girl says, what girl? Asked Sam. See, 3 years ago, this girl was having an affair with some professor. He broke it off. She jumped out a window and killed herself. You know her name? Asked Sam. No, but they say she jumped room 669. Get it? You turn the eye upside down. Sam nods. So she haunts the building. Anyone who sees her, they will live to tell the tale. She finishes. Well, no one lives to tell the tale then. How's the tale get told? Asks the guy. Curtis, shut up, she says. You know what? Thanks a lot, guys. Excuse me. Sam stands up and leaves. Dean is sitting out at the bar having a few shots. Dean, what are you drinking? Sam says, coming up. I don't know, man. I think they're called purple nurples. Dean let out a little burp. Listen, I think maybe we should go out, check out the professor's office, Sam says. No, Dean says. I got a feisty wildcat on the hook. I'm gonna zzz her reel in. He turns to a girl standing next to him. I'll introduce you. Starla. A very drunk girl with tons of makeup turns around in the middle of a drink. This is my shuttle co-pilot, Major Tom. Major Tom, this is Starla. Hi, says Sam. She holds out a drink to him and then suddenly puts her hand over her mouth, coughing. Sorry, she says, just gotta keep my liquor down. Dean laughs and turns back to Sam. Hey, good news. She's got a sister. He smiles at Sam and Sam smiles weakly back. Sarah goggles and presses her arm on Dean's neck. Suddenly, whoa, cuts in Dean. Come on, dude, that's not how it happened. No, so you never drank a purple nurple, says Sam with a smile. Yeah, maybe that, but I don't see things like Priceless Wildcat. Her name wasn't Starla. Bible watches silently. Then what was it? Asked Sam. I don't know, says Dean. She was a classic chick. She was a grad student. Anthropology and folklore. We were talking about local ghost stories. Dean is standing with a beautiful woman, dressed in a low-cut black dress. Here's to, she begins to hold him a drink. Here's to us, Dean finishes. They clink glasses and drink. My God, she says, you are attractive. Thanks, Dean says humbly. What's over that now? You talk about this urban legend. Please, lives are at stake. Sorry, she says. I can't even concentrate. It's like staring into the sun. She moves forward and starts to stroke his hair, and they start to kiss. Sam walks behind them and watches for a second before saying loudly, Dean, what do you think you're doing? Dean turns around. Sam, please, if you wouldn't mind just 5 minutes here. Dean, this is a very serious investigation, Sam says. We don't have time here, blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. Dean turns away and begins to kiss the girl again. Sam stares at him for a second and says very loudly, blah. Then, right, says Sam. And that's really how it happened. I don't sound like that, Dean. That's what it sounded like to me, Dean replies. Okay, what's going on with you two? Asks Bobby. Nothing, Sam says. It's nothing. Come on, says Bobby. You're bickering like an old married couple. No married couples get divorced, says Dean. Me and him are like Siamese twins. It's conjoined twins. Sam says the Dean gets up. See what I mean? Dean adds. Look, we've just been on the road for too long. Tight quarters, all that. Tight quarters all day. Don't worry about it, Sam says. Okay, says Bobby, unsure. And we figured it might be a haunting, so we went to check out the scene of the crime. How long have you been working here? Asked Sam, talking to the same worker who locked the door the night before the professor died. I've been mopping this for 6 years, he says. There you go, guys, he says. I'll look at the door to the office, turning on the light. What is that for? Yes, as Sam takes out their EMF meter. Sam tells him to pick up wiring in the walls. The workers isn't sure why they're wiring up this office, as it's going to do the professor much good. What is that? Asked Dean. He's dead, replies the guy. What happened? Asked Dean. He went out the window that night. He went out that window, right there, he replies, pointing. Yeah, were you working there that night? Asked Sam. I'm the one who found him, the guy replies. Sam asks if he saw him do it. He replies, no. I just saw him come up here and, well, Dean's busy eating something over in the corner. What? Asked Sam. He wasn't alone, he finishes. Who was he with? Asked Dean, coming over. His mouth is stuffed totally full of food. Come on, says Dean's voice back at the motel. I want maybe 2. Just let me tell it, okay, says Sam. It was the young lady. I told the cows about it, but I guess I never found her. Saw this girl come in, but did you see her come out? Asked Sam. Now that you mention it, no, he says. Ever seen her around before? Asked Sam. Not her, replies the worker. What do you mean? What do you mean? Asked Dean, still stuffing his mouth with food. Still stuffing food in his mouth. Guy replies that the professor had brought a lot of girls to his office. Sam quickly asked him, one more thing. This building has 4 stories, right? So there wouldn't be a room 669. Of course not. Why do you ask? Says the worker. Just curious, replies Sam. Dean's mouth is now packed so full he can't even close it. No trust in VMF, that's for sure. Sam and the boys go into their motel. Yeah, that room 669 is a load of crap, Dean says. So what do you think? Asks Sam. I don't know, says Dean. The girls you had described as pretty weird. Hey, he says they should check out the history of the building and see if any girls killed themselves there. Sam picks up the computer and flips it open. Looks on and asks, Dude, you're on a computer? No, says Dean. Oh, really? Because I was surprised on, BustationBeauties.com? Dean squints him for a second and quickly leaves. Dean, would you just don't touch my stuff anymore, okay? Dean starts to argue back. Was you going to bet anything about the building? Any suicidal co-ed? Bobby asks. No, history's clean, Sam replies. So it's not a haunting, Bobby says. Maybe not. To tell you the truth, we're not really sure, Dean says. What do you mean you're not sure? Asks Bobby. Well, it's weird, Sam begins. What's weird? Bobby asks. Next part, we didn't see happen ourselves, exactly, but pretty freaking weird, Dean answers. Even for us. In the campus outside Crawford Hall, Curtis was walking along outside. We heard something weird behind him, like a machine. He turned and looked back, but there was nothing. He kept walking and then heard an odd noise, like a humming over top of him. He looked up and then started walking again. So the light shone down on him. He yelled and started running, but then he fell. The light was following him. Suddenly he began rising into the air in the beam of light, screaming. Aliens, says Bobby. Yeah, Sam says. Aliens? Bobby says again. Yeah, says Dean. Looking if they are real, they're sure as hell coming to Earth and swiping people. Swiping people, Bobby says. Hey, believe me, we know, says Dean. My whole life, I've never found any. Whole life, I've never heard of any of any honest to God abduction, Bobby replies. There's all those cranks and pranks. Yeah, that's what we thought, Sam says. But we figured to at least talk to the guy. Sam and Dean are sitting with Curtis, who has a bunch of drinks in front of him. Hey, you gotta give those purple nurbles a shot, says Dean. Sam clears his throat. So what happened, Curtis? You won't believe me. Nobody does. Curtis replies. Give us a chance, Sam says. I do not want this in the papers, Curtis says firmly. Off the record then, Dean says. I blacked out and lost time, and then when I woke up, I don't know where I was. Curtis begins. Curtis is lying down. There are aliens leaning over him. Then what? Asked Sam, sitting down. They tested me and, he pauses for a drink. They, probed me. They probed you? Says Dean. Yeah, they probed me. Again and again and again and again and again and then one more time. Yikes, says Dean. That's the worst of it. Curtis begins. How could it get any worse? Asked Dean. I mean, somebody made you his bitch. Curtis glares at him and Sam frowns at him. They made me slow dance, Curtis says. Curtis slow dancing with an alien or disco ball. The boys look at each other and then try and think of something to say. You guys are exaggerating again, huh? Says Bobby. No, they say together. Then this frat boy's just nuts, Bobby says. We're not so sure, Dean replies. Dean and Sam are standing looking around a bunch of Dean and Sam are standing looking at a big round burned patch of grass. I'm telling you, Dean, this was made by some kind of jet engine, Sam says. It was a saucer-shaped jet engine, says Dean sarcastically. What else could it be? Asks Sam. What the hell, says Dean. I don't know, Sam says. No, seriously, dude. What the hell, says Dean. I don't know, says Sam. I mean, first the haunting, now this. It's happening alone. There's gotta be some sort of connection here. You mean between the angry spirit and the sex of E.T.? Dean replies. I mean, what connection could there possibly be? What could we do? Says Dean. So we just kept on digging. The boys are talking to a frat pledge. So, you and this guy Curtis, you're in the same house, says Sam. Yeah, replies the kid. You were having to him, right? Asked Dean. Yeah, I said it was aliens, but, whatever. The guy says, Look, man, I know this is all hard. Look, man, I know this all has to be so hard, says Sam. Not so much, says the guy, but I want you to know, Sam continues. I'm here for you. You brave little soldier. I acknowledge your pain. Come here. He grabs the guy in a hug. You're too precious for this world, he says. Dean looks awkward. I never said that, Sam interrupts. You're always saying pansy stuff like that, Dean replies. Sam just looks shocked and annoyed. Back with Sam hugging the fried student, he awkwardly pats Sam on the back and says, Well, thanks for the hug, but I'm okay, really. Sam nods, backing up. They pass him on the shoulder a few more times. To tell you the truth, whatever to Curtis, he had it coming, the guy goes on. Why is that? Asks Dean. He's our pledge master. He put us through hell this semester, replies the guy. So he knows how we feel. It's okay, he says to Sam, patting him on the shoulder, and Sam smiles gratefully. Back at their motel, Dean says, Still doesn't make a lick of sense, but hey, at least there's one connection. Between what? Asks Sam. The victims, Dean says. They're both dicks. That's a connection? Says Sam. You had better go on? I'd love to hear it, Dean says. Where's my laptop? Sam says silly. I don't know, says Dean. He starts to talk about how the guys got what was coming to them. I left it in here, Sam interrupts. He obviously didn't, Dean replies. These punishments. They're almost poetic. Actually, that'd be a limerick. Okay, says Sam. Hilarious, where'd you hide it? What, your computer? Dean asks. Yeah, where'd you hide it? Sam asks. Why would you take your computer? Dean argues. Because no one else could have Dean. We kept the door locked. We never let any maids in. Looks like you lost it, Poindexter. Dean says with a smile. Dude, you know something? I put up with a lot from you. Sam says angrily. What are you talking about? I'm a joy to be around. He says. Yeah? Your dirty socks in the sink? Your food in the fridge? What's wrong with my food? Dean interrupts. It's not food anymore, Dean. It's Darwinism. I like it, Dean mutters. You know, all I ask from you is one thing. They don't mess with my stuff, Sam yells. You done? Dean says. Sam shakes his head. You know, how would you feel if I screwed with the Impala? The last thing you ever did, Dean says firmly. Did you take his computer? Bobby asks. It serves him right, but no, Dean replies. Well, I didn't lose it, Sam says, because I don't lose things. Oh, that's right, yeah, because he's Mr. Perfect, Dean says, pointing at Sam. Okay, why don't you just tell me what happened next, Bobby says. There was one more victim, Dean begins. Right, and we didn't see this for ourselves either. We kind of put it together from the evidence. This guy was a research scientist, animal testing. Yeah, you know, a dick, puts in Dean, which fits the pattern. The scientist is walking down steps from Crawford Hall and is crossing the road when suddenly he sees something shining down inside a drain. He crouches down and looks in. It's a watch. He sticks his arm down inside the drain, trying to reach it. Suddenly he starts screaming. Something's got his arm. Sam and Dean break into the morgue through a window. The cops didn't realize the cause of death because they had no idea what the cause was, Dean is saying. So we checked ourselves, Sam finishes. Inside they pull out the tray. Well, this ought to be quick, says Dean. They pull off the cloth, which is blood-stained. Underneath there's only an arm and a left leg, along with a lot of guts. Okay, that is just nasty, says Dean, looking away. Mutilated? Mutilated? It looks to me like something was hungry, Sam says. They identify him yet? Asks Dean. Yeah, research scientist at college. Guess his office was, by the way. Crawford Hall. Sam is a professor, Sam says. That's referred by as close encounter, Dean says. Yeah. Take over that thing, would you? Sam puts a magnifying glass nearby. Dean gets it for him. Sam looks at something on the body part. What is it? Asks Dean. It looks like a belly scale. Sam says. A belly scale, says Dean cordially. From what? An alligator? Sam finishes. An alligator in the sewer, Dean says. Come on. What? Dean's a classic urban legend. They get flushed a big alligator down the toilet and it grows huge in the tunnels? Yeah, but no one's ever really found one. I mean, they're not real, Dean says. And there's alien abduction, Sam continues. But so they jumped on this guy. This couldn't get any weirder, Dean says. Yeah, maybe we get some help. I'll call Bobby. He's run into something like this before, Sam suggests. Oh, I'm sure he has. Just a typical haunted campus alien abduction haunted sewer gig, Dean says. Yeah, it's simple. Besides, there's a sewer anyway, so we split up. Each taking one into campus, Sam says. Did you find anything? Bobby asks. Yeah, I found something. Just not in the sewer, Dean says. Dean climbs out of the sewer and walks around the corner, only to stop in horror. All the air in the tires of the Impala has been let out. Dean finds somebody on the floor head together with a little metal clip. The initials SW on it. Sam! He says angrily. Dean comes into the motel room, slamming the door behind him. You think this is funny? He says angrily. It depends, says Sam. What? Dean mocks him for a second and says angrily. The car! You can't let the air out of the tires, you idiot! You're gonna bend the rims. Whoa, wait a minute, I didn't go near your car, says Sam. Oh yeah, huh? How did I find this? Dean says, holding up the money. Sam looks shocked and reaches into his pockets, then stands up, realizing it's gone. He turns to Dean. Look at Dean. Hey, give me back my money. Oh, no. Consider reparations for emotional trauma, says Dean, walking past him. Yeah, very funny. Now give it back, Sam says. Going after him, making a grab for the money as Dean takes off his coat. But Dean says no and moves it away. Dean, I've had up to here with you, says Sam furiously. Yeah, right back at ya, says Dean. Sam reaches for the money again. And once again, Dean jerks it away. Sam laughs and then tries again. Then finally tackles Dean. Hey, come on, Dean yells, trying to get away. Give it back, Sam says, holding Dean tightly so he can't get away. Okay, I've heard enough, says Bobby. Anyway, he showed up about an hour after that, Dean says. I'm surprised at you two, Bobby continues. I really am. Sam, first off, Dean did not steal your computer. But begins Sam. Shh, says Bobby, holding up his hand. And Dean, Sam did not touch your car. Dean says nothing. If you two had bothered pulling your heads out of your asses, it will have been pretty clear. What? Says Dean, confused. What are you dealing with? Says Bobby. Says Sam. I got nothing, says Dean. Me neither, says Sam. You got a trickster on your hands, Bobby explains. That's what I thought. says Dean, smiling. What? Says Sam. No, you didn't. But let me tell you, cuts in Bobby. The guys are the biggest clue. What do you mean? Asked Sam. These things are a chaos and mischief as easy as breathing. It's good you so turn around and at your throats you can't even think straight. The laptop, says Sam. The tire, says Dean. It knows you're onto it, Bobby says. It's been playing like the fiddles. So what is it? Spirit? Demon? What? Dean asks. More like demigods, really, Bobby begins. Those few deities, including Loki in Scandinavia. There's dozens of them. They're immortal. They create things out of thin air, things such as you and me, and make them vanish just as quick. Maybe an angry spirit, or an alien, or an alligator, Dean says. The victims of the MO, too, Bobby continues. Tricksters target the high and the mighty, knock them down a peg, usually with a sense of humor. Daily pranks, things like that. Bobby, what do these things look like? Dean asks. Lots of things, but human mostly, Bobby says. Dean turns to Sam. What human do we know that's been at ground zero this whole time? Somebody's looking at a magazine with all different sorts of headlines. Aliens and alligators. He comes across one that says, Cannibal Madman Chainsaw's Family. Oh, he says. That's a good one. It's a Jenna from Crawford Hall. Calls her dog and then stands up. Did you eat? I could eat. He goes over to the table. There are tons of cakes, fruit, and chocolate. Something's missing, he says. And the two women appear next to him and start to feed him the food. Jenner's with Sam and Dean again. Sorry I'm dragging a little ass today, boys. He says, quite the night last night. Lots of sex to catch my drift. Yeah, hard not to, says Dean. This won't be long. We just gotta check a couple of offices up on 3. He munches at Sam behind the Jenner's back. Oh, damn, I forgot something in the truck. You know what? I'll catch up with you guys, Sam says. Okay, says Dean. And 2 of them walk away. Sam heads downstairs and checks out the lockers. He finally finds one with weekly world news inside with a picture of a UFO on the front. Just because he reads weekly world news doesn't mean he's our guy, says Sam to Dean as they head down the steps. I mean, you read it too. I'm telling you it's him, says Dean. I just think we need some more proof, that's all. That's all, says Sam. Look, another thing Bobby mentions is that these things have a metabolism like an insect. You know, a real sweet tooth, says Dean. What if I need candy bars? Argues Sam. Or sugar. That's because you missed something, Dean says. I don't miss things, Sam says. All right, because you're Mr. Perfect, Dean says. What, are you really so pissed at me because of what the trickster did? Sam says graciously. Oh, come on, man. You've been a tight ass long before the trickster showed up, Dean argues. Meanwhile, the janitor is watching from the window. Let's stay here, keep an eye on the janitor. I'll go to this place to see if I can find any actual evidence before you start barging in the stake of the man. Dean looks away. Just wait till I get back, okay? Sam says. Says Dean. Okay? Sam says again. Okay! Dean says loudly. The janitor watching as Sam goes to the car and Dean walks away. It's night, and Dean is still waiting outside the hall. He's pacing around, obviously getting tired of waiting. Finally says, screw this. It's up the steps inside the hall. He takes out his flash and starts looking around, heading down the stairs. Then he goes back up. Still hears music playing. He turns around and heads over to the door where it's coming from. It's the door to a theater, and down the stage there's a big bed with 2 women sitting on it. Dean goes inside further, looking around. We've been waiting for you, Dean, says one of the women, and they move forward. You guys aren't real, says Dean. Trust me, it'll feel real, she says. Come on, says the other one. Let's give you a massage. You almost took a happy ending, says Dean. But really, I'm going to have to pass. They're a peace offering, says a voice behind Dean. He turns to the janitor sitting in the theater. I know what you and your brother do. I've been around for a while. We never can before. Well, I know I can't let you keep hurting people, says Dean. Come on, says the janitor. Those people got what was coming to them. But you and Sam, I like you. I do. So treat yourself, as long as you want. As long as for me to move on to the next town. Yeah, I don't think I can let you do that, says Dean. I don't want to hurt you, says the guy. And you know that I can. Look, man, I gotta tell you, I took your style. I mean, and So Dancing Alien, they laugh together. One of my personal favorites, the trickster laughs. Yeah, but I can't let you go, Dean finishes. Too bad, says the trickster. Like I said, I liked you. But Sam was right. You should have come alone. Well, I agree with you there, says Dean. I saw Sam and Bobby come into the theater. The video guys had outside, says the trickster. That was a trick? Dean smiles and shrugs. Not bad, he says. Dean pulls a stick from inside his jacket. We don't want to see a real trick, goes on the trickster. A slightly man holding a chainsaw appears behind Sam. Dean grabs forward to stab him. One of the women on the bed grabs him and throws him aside. Bobby and Sam fight with the chainsaw man as Dean is beaten up by the two women. The trickster is laughing as it all happens. Finally, Dean is thrown and hits into some of the chairs. They stop going after him. Nice toss, ladies, laughs the trickster. Nice show. Dean spots a stake on the ground at the same time as Sam does. Dean, 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 says the trickster. I did not want to have to do this. He stands up. Sam throws a stake to Dean and Dean jumps up, stabbing into the trickster's chest. Me neither, says Dean. The man chainsaw vanishes, and so do the women. Dean pulls out the stake, and the man's body slumps down on the seats, dead. You guys okay? Dean asks Bobby and Sam as they run up. Yeah, says Sam, I guess. I gotta say, says Dean, he had style. They leave the theater. Bobby thinks a lot. I guess I must leave the hall. We couldn't save it, says Bobby. There's a lot of dodge before someone finds that body. Yeah, agrees Sam. Bobby gets to the pull-up. Sam stops. Dean, hey, I just want to say that, Hey, says Dean. Me too. They look at each other for a second, then Bobby gets out of the car again. You guys are breaking my heart. Can we just please leave? Can we please just leave? They get in the car and drive away. Inside, someone walks up to the body still lying on chairs. So the body disappears. We see that the man that came up is the same janitor. Again. He takes a bite of a chocolate bar. Yeah, I know it'd be too easy to get rid of him, considering who he actually is, but yeah, anyway. So let's take a look at some continuity surrounding this episode. This is the first appearance of Gabriel. Bobby Singer previously appeared in Born Under a Bad Sign. This is the first chronological appearance of an Archangel in this series, as they revealed that the trickster is actually the Archangel Gabriel. The second was Raphael, Medina Castiel tried to find God and free to be you and me. And so it's the first appearance of a primordial entity in the series. Sam's laptop gets frozen on BustyAsianBeauties.com, which links directly to the official Warner Brothers website. This also marks the first mention of Busty Asian Beauties, which became a recurring joke in future episodes, as a supposed interest of Dean's. The first reference of aliens. The second would be the season 6 episode, Clap Your Hands If You Believe. Now finally, let's take a look at some trivia surrounding this episode. This marks the first appearance of angels in the series. This episode received its own special article in Weekly World News. Oddly, the article explains one thing that goes unmentioned in the episode itself. The stakes used to kill a trickster must be dipped in the blood of one of its victims. The building that serves as the exterior hall of Crawford Hall is the Iona Building, located at the University of British Columbia Vancouver campus. It houses the Vancouver School of Economics. The featured stained glass window is titled Light of the World. The boys relay their mutually contradictory accounts of events shown a flashback to Bobby, but then determines the truth, as they take on the 1950 movie Rashomon, in which 4 people tell mutually contradictory versions of events shown in flashbacks, and the final account is assumed to be the truth. This narrative device was also used in X-Files episode Bad Blood, which John Shaban, the writer of this episode, was the co-producer. A purple Nurple is an actual drink containing coconut rum, triple sec, blue Curaçao, and cranberry juice. Jim Michaels also gave out his own version of the recipe. Sam Winchester fights a serial killer created by the trickster that very much resembles Jason Voorhees. In 2009, Padalecki played Clay Miller in the remake of Friday the 13th. The frat pledge was played by Neil Grayston, best known as Fargo in Eureka. Bobby names Loki as a trickster in this episode. It was later revealed in Hammer of the Gods that Gabriel had been impersonating this deity for centuries. The real Loki will appear in Unfinished Business. Interesting. So overall, I think this episode is just pretty darn hilarious and scary and also kind of funny, and it's my favorite episode from season 2. So yeah. So overall, I give the episode Tall Tales 5 Impalas out of 5. Well, mate, tune in tomorrow as we take a look at the next episode, Roadkill. So, until then, carry on, my wayward sons and daughters.